Well, welcome. My name is Al Getler, and I'm your host for Lead or Be Led. So, one of the things I've stressed over the weeks here that we've done our show is that leaders really have to be up to speed on what's going on in the marketplace. As they lead their people, they have to be the ones that know and be on the cutting edge of change. There's a big change happening right now when it comes to marketing. Marketing as we know it is upside down. It used to be that we had interruption in our lives, commercials on TV, on radio, even telemarketing, our phone would ring. Well, life has changed pretty dramatically. We're on to something that's called inbound marketing now. It's dependent, of course, on the internet, but there's a lot to this subject that I think you as a leader really need to know about. And so I invited a very special guest to help us with that topic from a company that I've mentioned before, but we're going to mention again because they do some great work. So let me welcome our guest. Phil is here from Hubspot. Phil, how are you today?
Great, thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you are here. Phil, tell us what you do, first of all, at Hubspot.
Vice President of Enterprise. So for a long time, HubSpot has been very successful in signing up small, medium businesses to our software platform. And we increasingly are getting asked by enterprises to use our software as well. So I came in to build out our enterprise group.
Excellent. Good deal. Phil, tell us. We hear this term inbound marketing. And as I mentioned to you earlier in our pre-interview, I mentioned inbound marketing to other business people, and I can tell right away they get that glassy-eyed look. They have no idea what I'm talking about. Can you fill us in, to start off basically, what is inbound marketing?
Inbound marketing is really recognizing that the world has changed, and really it starts with the premise that the buyer is now in control. So before, where buyers relied on getting information from vendors about different products and services, now with the internet, we have the ultimate, most efficient mechanism for people to find information. Buyers are increasingly doing a lot of their research and finding information about what their interest in products and services online. And what that means is we have to reflect and have a new marketing methodology that reflects how people buy today. So in the past, where you had outbound marketing that was based on interrupting people, having messages that interfered, and you got billboards and telemarketing calls and cold calls, today it's about how do you actually adapt to the fact that your customers have more control than you do. They have the internet, they can do searches on your products, they can find out recommendations from social media, and you have to figure out from a marketing strategy, how are you going to adapt to that? How are you going to take that into account and attract customers to you by offering remarkable content that pulls them toward your company? And then once they're interacting and engaging with your company, how are you going to pull them through the funnel with a personalized approach so that you can make marketing people love and ultimately have more customers?
So I guess the first question is, how do I get someone to engage with my company?
Well, it all starts with thinking about, really, first step is thinking about who are your customers. And that sounds pretty obvious, but we always recommend that people start with their buyer persona, which is stepping back and saying, well, who are you trying to reach? I mean, who is your target customer? What are their problems? What are their needs? What are they thinking about? What are the things that keep them up at night? And then simply starting with that premise, you have to start to create content that speaks to them in their language. So for example, if you have customers that have a certain product, they have a certain need, you have to start creating white papers and ebooks and creating content and blogs that makes your customers to be able to find you online so they can start to engage with your company because they get value out of the content you provide. Well, and so it really starts with understanding your customer, building great, remarkable content that speaks to their needs, and then making sure that when they find that, that'll help you get found and get more visitors. So
those people who glaze over when I mentioned inbound marketing, you just said three things. You said white papers, you said ebooks, and you said blogs. So if I'm the average business owner, I said, wow, I have to produce all these things? I mean, I can't possibly do that. I'm not a writer. How do I do that?
Well, it does. We do recommend to people. I mean, look, it does start. You have to think about marketing in a different way, right? So marketing in the past was about buying ad time and sending out coupons, interrupting people. In this new world, it's about content production. It's about those companies that can figure out how they reallocate their time and investments and make more investments in people actually creating that great, valuable content that their customers will read and get value out of and make them want to interact with their company. And so it is challenging for some companies, I'll acknowledge, to figure out how are they going to actually produce that content on an ongoing basis. What we recommend to people is that they think about, if they can't do the work, is to think about maybe hiring a journalist, somebody out there that there's a lot of journalists right now that are looking for work.
Yeah.
Get them to come in and interview executives, for example, and actually they can start producing content on an ongoing basis. So obviously we prefer and we recommend that people look at their marketing investments they've already made, the people they have, and think about how they can reallocate those resources toward doing content production on an ongoing basis, build an editorial calendar, start publishing those content, and start small and start getting in the habit of doing that. But if you have a company where you just flat out can't assign the resources to do it, step one might be hire a journalist to come in and do some interviewing of your executives and have them start actually writing content on your behalf to try to generate more content.
Okay, so you mentioned the term executives, and that certainly makes us think of a large company. But what if I'm Jason Cowett, my plumber, real guy, okay? And my brother and I have a business. It's a thriving business, but we want to attract people to our website. Are there ways that even I, with a pretty decent plumbing business, can put content out there and have people discovering me? Any case history like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what's amazing is that, I think a lot of people have the perception that, gee, if you have a business that is for people that, traditionally you wouldn't find online, the fact of the matter is we're all doing research for anything we do now. Think about the first thing you think about when you're going to find a plumber and you're in the market for plumbing services. You go to the internet and you type in some search term into Google, and up pops the organic links that kind of rank based on who's the most popular plumber. You do some research online, and then you actually call them. And so when you're a plumber, you need to start thinking that plumber example you're using, needs to start thinking about what are the problems that his customers might be having that they would make them want to go to Google and actually type in. So we recommend that those plumbers start to think about that example. What are the search terms or keywords that their customers would use if they had a problem with their sink or something with their plumbing in their bathroom? What are the search terms they would blog in to actually find the plumber? And based on that, we recommend that people start blogging about those keywords and use those keywords to blog and write articles that allow those people to be found. So now the articles that the plumber has written that speaks to the problems their customers are having or the problems that they would investigate when they went to Google will now start to show up high in the Google rankings. And by doing that, then they will get found and more traffic will come to the website, which will ultimately convert to more customers.
So search terms and keywords, from what you're saying, Google finds those, and when it finds more of those like keywords and like terms, then you rise up, I think you use the term organically, to the top of a Google search. Of course, the other option is to buy your way into the top of that list in what we call probably a non-organic search or an AdWord result. But you're talking about really just finding those words and writing about them often so that you rise to the top. And then tell me, if I am a plumber, then I work regionally, and I know we're getting highly technical here for a second, but based on where I'm typing in that search from, Google knows where I am. So my chances of even rising top and being local are really a huge plus. Is that right?
That's exactly right. So it really comes down to the rankings in Google come down to relevancy and authority. And so relevancy is about using the keyword search terms that the people type in that they would actually to find your content. Mm-hmm. And that's how relevant your content is for the problem they're trying to solve. And then authority is just a reflection of the inbound links. How many inbound links do you get to that content? So the more valuable content that you write, the more value people get out of it, the more inbound links you'll get from other websites pointing people to your content as a source of authority. And those are the two ways that you help get yourself higher in the Google rankings when somebody types in a search term. And the game, obviously, is you want to get to the top of the rankings. I mean, studies have shown most people don't click past the third organic search result. They don't click on that link. And if you're on the second page, it's very hard to get found.
Sure.
So the whole idea is, how can you create the content that's very relevant to the search terms that people are typing in to find the kind of services or products you offer? And then how do you get authority in terms of producing remarkable content that people want to have inbound links to? That helps you rise up in the rankings. Now, the third thing, which we're increasingly seeing, is there's social is becoming more and more important as well, okay, and the relevancy of search results. So that people's social interaction, if somebody likes your content or you have social influencers that are following your company and they like some of your content, that could start to have more of an impact, because it makes sense. If one of my people that I'm linked in with or one of the people I'm in Facebook with have liked content, then right, search results will obviously reflect the fact that there's a good likelihood that that search result will be relevant for me as well. Okay. So that's starting to converge, and people need to start thinking about search and search as, and it's basically an interoperable unit with search and SEO. Okay. And social as one interoperable and optimizable unit.
This sounds like something so easy. Even my grandmother could learn how to do it. So it really is good stuff.
Thanks. It is very easy to use, and I think we have a video that we'd encourage people to go watch. Maybe you could pull it up now that shows how easy this is for people to leverage our tools, which are all in one.
You mean even my grandmother could do it?
Even your grandmother could do it.
All right, let's see that video, Lou.
Hey, Nana. It's Nick.
Nick, hi
Your
there.
son, your grandson. How's it going?
I'm doing great, thanks. Did your mother tell you that your grandfather is opening a new store in town? He's selling car seats for cats.
Car seats for cats. Okay.
You know how much he loves cats and the car seats.
Well, cat car seats, I mean, it's, I know that's been a passion of his for a while, so I think it's important to do what you love, right? Especially in your retirement years.
I feel bad for him because he spent so much money on a radio ad and a local TV commercial.
Come on down to the Car Seats for Cats warehouse outlet on 36 Water Street in Brockton, Mass.
And an ad on the side of a bus.
Well, Grandma, slow down. How many people are actually going to go to a store right off the bat to buy car seats for cats? What he needs is a new inbound marketing strategy.
Inbound?
Yeah, inbound marketing?
Huh?
You've heard of it? You haven't heard of it? Okay. Well, basically, he needs to actually create a website that is optimized.
Optimize.
Yeah, can you just write that down? Just write down optimize website. Yeah. He's going to need to optimize it so that what that basically means is people who are looking for cat car seats, save my cat in my car, how do I keep my cat comfortable and safe in my vehicle? These are key terms he's going to want to own so that people will actually, the people are looking for cat car seats, if there is such a group, will actually find his site.
All right, go slowly.
Yeah, no, he needs to actually start creating content, pages on his website, articles that promote and get the word out on social media
Social
accounts.
what?
Social media.
What do you mean the media?
Social media. Yeah. Yeah, you heard of Twitter?
Well, your cousin uses the book face, I know, and Twitter.
Forget it, don't worry about it. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I'm sure most people who have a passion for cat car seats would be looking around for this first probably online. I don't think that they're going to be looking for billboards out there for the cat car seat industry. I mean, he's kind of pioneering this cat car seat thing, so it's probably a niche.
His
Niche. Yeah.
Niche? Oh, niche.
So if Pop can start, making some of the cute cat videos, putting them up on YouTube, getting people to like him on his Facebook page, that's when we would want to start converting some of that traffic into using calls to action to convert them into
traffic
leads.
on the highway. Yes, last week I was in some awful traffic on 128. I thought I'd never get off.
The traffic coming onto the website, it's called website visitors or traffic. Yeah, we'd want to tell them to do something, call them to action, they convert into leads, and then we would nurture
What do you
those.
mean by lead nurturing? I only know about nurturing children.
No, not like in grade school when you took me out. That's not nurture. It's not nurturing a baby or anything. You're just going to nurture the leads with more messages, more targeted calls to action, getting them closer and closer to getting a cat. I mean, does he even have a blog, Grandma? Is he blogging at all? No?
Blob? What do you mean blob? What blob?
Okay.
Well, it was great talking to you, Nick.
Yes, it's nice talking to you too.
I love you.
I love you. I love you, Nana.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Phil, I have to admit, I have felt like Nick on several occasions having these conversations with business people. So I'm going to ask Lou just to bring the slides up here and take us through real quickly what Nick tried to tell Nana and what Nana wasn't getting that we need to understand about this slide.
Well, Nick was actually explaining Nana was at the top, the left-hand side of the chart here, the attract phase. He was trying to actually, and that's what we try to do with customers, is trying to educate them that step one is about figuring out what are the search terms that your customers or prospects will use and type into Google when they're looking for something. And then it's about optimizing your website and building content around those search terms so that you can get the word out and get found. So what he was trying to explain to Nana was that step one is about the attract phases, which how am I going to get people to actually find me when they're in the market for car seats for cats, and building that the right blogs and the right ebooks and using the right keywords and building the right pages on a website that basically allow that search term when it's put into Google for that particular Nana's husband's website to come up to the top of the ranking so that he can get found. And then he didn't even get to convert. Well, I think he did actually talk a little bit about leads, but in terms of the phases of convert, which is getting those people to become leads, and then you can market to them in a really personalized way because you're learning their interests, you're learning what channels they like to use and how they like to interact, and then you can close them as customers. So they chatted about attract and convert basically as the two phases that he was trying to explain.
One of the best ways to find out about it is probably to go to your website, Hubpsot.com. And if I go there and I'm new to HubSpot, is there a way for me to try it out?
Yes, there is. We do offer a free trial. What we generally like to do is actually talk with customers first, just to understand what their needs are. We do have a very powerful all-in-one software platform, and in the inbound marketing methodology that I described, we have software features that actually speak to each of those parts. So we have tools for the top of the funnel, tools for the middle of the funnel. So generally what we'd like to do is actually talk with customers who have interest, understand where their needs are, so we can direct them to the right places and make sure that they're looking at that we're demoing the right functionality, that they can trial the right functionality that we think will meet their needs based on whether it's a visitor problem or a lead conversion problem, somewhere on that funnel. So we really want to understand that and help our customers.
And there's one very cool tool I'm just going to mention and I'm not sure exactly the term that you use at HubSpot for it, but there is a tool you have on your website where if I pop in my website URL, it will go in and test my website to see where I am in the inbound marketing spectrum.
Yes, it's called marketinggrader.com.
Ah, right.
And so anybody can go in there and you want to look at, well, how's my website doing? Have I optimized my website? And where might be there areas in my website to improve to help me get more visitors and get found? You can go type in a URL and we'll actually spit out a pretty detailed report to give you feedback about how your website is doing, what areas you might want to think about optimizing to make it easier to get found and help you actually attract more people. So I would encourage everybody as a good starting point to go to that website, marketinggrader.com, and put in the URL and get some feedback as a starting point to see if there's areas where you think you can improve on your website.
So that costs what, $25.95, $35.95? How much does that cost?
It's free, Al.
Oh my God, Phil, you're kidding me. Just for today?
No, every day.
HubSpot really does a great job of bringing people into the funnel. Has a lot of great content. I recommend anybody try going to the website, checking it out. It doesn't matter whether you're a plumber, right, Phil, or if you're a large corporation. HubSpot has something that'll work for you.
That's amazing. We have, like I said, 9,000 customers, and they really span the spectrum. We have companies that are 1 to 10 employees that use us in categories like plumbing, for example. And then we have Fortune 100, Fortune 200 companies that use us that are very sophisticated, but they're actually looking to help with the lead conversion and the convert phases. And so we really range the spectrum of industries and size of companies. And really, it's a very powerful platform. There's really something in there for everyone. That's
super. Well, again, we're going to give some websites, hubspot.com, inboundconference.com. Is that right, Phil, or is it just inbound.com?
Inbound.com.
Okay. And then, of course, the Grader. Could you give that website again?
Marketinggrader.com.
Outstanding. All good sites for our leaders on Lead to be Led to be checking out. So you're one step ahead of your team and you're one step ahead of everybody knowing about inbound marketing. So Phil, I'm going to thank you for being my guest today. You have been just a fountain of information about inbound marketing, and I hope you'll come back and join us again soon.
Thanks a lot, Al. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it. Thanks. Well, that is going to wrap up another episode of Lead or Be Led. I'm a big believer in HubSpot, a big believer in inbound marketing and where things are going today when it comes to what marketing means to the average executive, what it means to a leader, and for you to run your company, your organization, you're going to need to understand what's coming, what's on the horizon for us when it comes to marketing. So with that, I want to urge you once again, forward what you're seeing today to your friends, fill out some comments below, tell us what you're doing with inbound marketing at your company, and we want to hear from you as much as we possibly can. With that, my name is Al Getler, and that's another episode of Lead or Be Led. Take care.